What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Boundaries.
And we're back.
What is cracking?
Fucking life, bro. I'm feeling great.
I am too, man.
Yeah, I had a good day. It was a productive day, and I fucking killed it at life today, bro.
Did you?
I did.
Hell yeah, I love this.
Fucking did, bro.
I was not expecting this.
It's just because I walked in all fucking focused. You probably thought I was in a pissed off mood.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, dude, don't be, when you wanted to bring up that thing, I was like, oh, don't make it a negative thing because I didn't know with you today, you know?
I'm just focused, bro. I was just focused, fucking setting up.
Love that.
Fucking, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I've been super, like, grateful this last week. Like, I've been having these moments, man, like last night, me and my son, it was like 10 o'clock at night. I got out of yoga, dude. It was like 9:30 and I was supposed to cook some salmon. I was like, you know what, let's go to In-N-Out, man. And I'm just getting in my car, dude. I'm driving down the hill here. I got a beautiful view here. And I'm like, dude, son, aren't we lucky, man? We get to just cruise down here to In-N-Out. We can just go get something to eat, that we have the freedom to be able to do that in this nice car. And, with this beautiful view, I'm not boasting, dude. I'm just saying, like, and he's just like, yeah. Because, he's never gone without.
Right.
So, like, to really appreciate those things, I think you have to go without.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody that's had and never had to go without their whole life, like, recognizes that gratitude. Like somebody that's, it's been a long time. I can't remember since when I've ever had to go without, but still, like, I know what it feels like. And so, I've had a few of these moments, man. I mean, a lot of them actually, man, at least once a day, bro, where I've stopped and been like, dang.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've been going through the same experience because, I bought my car and I went from that old fucking beat up truck because I've worked so hard over the last bit of time, dude, to get where I'm at. And I was driving that old beat up truck for so long. And like, when I was driving that truck, I kept telling myself I want to buy a car. And then I'd be like, nah, it's not time. And like, I just, I played everything out till it was the right time, right? And then I fucking got a new car and now I'm driving my fucking car and I'm like, I'm cruising the other day and fucking having the same exact feeling, bro. Like, fuck, this is so nice. I'm fucking driving a comfortable ass car and it's not like this purchase I made where I have to feel guilty like I fucking broke the bank or like, like I made some fucking impulsive decision. No, I thought out the fucking decision and, and it feels great, bro. It feels fucking great.
Dude, I've watched you this last 4 months, bro, like manifest so many things.
Yeah, bro.
I've watched you, like, big things. Like, I've watched you manifest some big things these last 4 months, man.
Yeah, bro. I feel it. But I have to say, and I'm not glazing and I'm not trying to fucking, all over you or nothing, but these things, like, life was going good before the podcast, before everything, right? But like, these things that you've seen come rapidly in my life, these things happened when we started this podcast. These things happened when I started surrounding myself with you. These things, all happened when I started changing my surroundings and changing what I'm doing and working on and thinking about on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
And since we've started this and since I've been around you a lot, just like your mindset of like your success mindset has like rubbed off on me, right? And so like the way that you think has influenced the way that I'm now thinking.
Wow, thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
And so like, that's really when things started changing, right? And you've pushed me, dude, since we've started our friendship and since we started working on this podcast together and all of that, like you've influenced me as a person and it's made a difference in my life, bro.
Oh man, I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you, dude.
Well, sure. You know what? Same here, dude. And what's crazy is like, cause I don't think that of myself that I'm having that impact on you. And you probably don't think like the impact you have on me, but just from our show 2 weeks ago, where you were talking about me, how critical I am of myself.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times, at least once a day since then, that's came up in my mind. and I said, oh, you're being critical of yourself, Carlo.
Right.
So you have no idea how you've influenced my life, brother.
Good,
you know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
There's
too.
a lot of, I can't think of but I know I brought them up to you where I've called you and be like, oh, dude, this one episode, you should, because it's like you're a reflection. As we talked about, you're a fucking reflection of me, bro. Mm-hmm. So I'm sharing these things to you and you're bringing them back to me, dude.
Yeah.
And it's helping me grow.
Yep. Same.
And sometimes I don't even understand the words that I'm speaking, and you put it into a manner where I understand myself.
I love that, dude.
So, and that's what it's about, bro. Being around people like this is what we talk about on this show.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do, man. So I'm super grateful. And if you're winning and you're around me, that means I'm winning.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. And there's for a while now, there's this thing I always think about that Justin Waller's talked about and Grant Cardone has talked about, and they talk about how like the people that you hang out with, like Justin Waller said it, if we can't make money together, there's no point in having you around. And though like we haven't blown up and necessarily made money together yet, like I feel like we're on that path together, right? And like for once I have someone in my life that I feel like I can like collab on creating success together with, right? I don't have no one else in my life that I think about like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone else that has the success mindset. I don't have, that's why I have no friends, bro, because I stopped fucking surrounding myself with everyone I knew because they don't have the success mindset.
Yeah.
And I refuse to hang out with people that want to stay where they're at. I'm not willing to fucking do it anymore. I'm not willing to hang out with people that settle for life being the way it is. I'm willing to hang out with people that enjoy the moment and appreciate where they're at, but not people that aren't willing to continue to grow.
Yeah.
And so I have no friends but you, bro, for real. Like there's no one in my life that I can say I respect the way that I respect you. And having Becca on recently, I respect her too. She's got the same success mindset. Some of the things she said, I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, this is someone I would surround myself with, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, dude, so that's my mindset. I'm willing to surround myself with people that are willing to grow, people that are willing to make money with me, people that are willing to create success together with me. No more of the shit, no more of what I used to surround myself with. And life has fucking gotten so much better since building that mindset. Yeah. So much better.
And it's not, I don't look at it like I've heard you say that a couple of times, and I get what you're saying about making money together. I don't, Becca's my friend, and other people that are successful that I have are friends. And it's not the, for me, it's not the actual state of money.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. And I'm not saying that's what you put like, oh, I'm going to make money with this person. Like, that's why I'm friends with them. I get what you're saying. So in the words you're putting it, but it's more of people that are getting better and becoming better people.
Yeah.
Because again, the better person I become, the more money I make, right? Yeah. The better I am to show up, right? Then it attracts the money. And again, me just being friends with her and what she does. So I might not talk to her that much, or I might not even talk to you, but just the energy of it makes me want more and makes me look at, you know what I'm saying? So as funny as my closest friends, we barely talk.
Yep.
But it's the energy. I don't know how to explain it, man.
No,
It's just
you're explaining it right.
It's just the energy of it, man, that, it's like, boom. And, she lives next door to me, bro. So it's like, boom. She's gone at 8:00 in the morning and she's out and I'm at home. I'm like, nah, what the hell? She's out there hustling, dude. Like, what am I doing home? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I won't even see her for a month, bro. But just her car being out of her driveway or gone, bro, it like motivates me because I know she's out there hustling. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what I mean when I say that. Like, metaphorically, right? Like metaphorically, like you're gonna push me to be a better person. You're gonna push me to be successful. You're gonna you push me. And if I'm fucking up, you tell me. And when I'm doing good, you fucking, you give me props, and you encourage me to be a better person. That's what I mean by making money together. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I'm just putting in that other perspective, man, because when you do talk, so those friends that you're not around, you don't talk to that much, but when you do talk, what are you talking about? Becoming better. You know, how am I becoming better? What am I doing to come to better? And you don't intentionally do it. Those are just the conversations we have.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
exactly.
that's the foundation we're building in our relationship, which is getting success and making money.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly,
So I get what you're saying.
Exactly. And that's a good point to bring up too, like to the people watching. You know, just when you're thinking about who is good for you to surround yourself with, reflect on the conversations you have. Reflect on what you're talking about when you're around the people you're around. You know, you go and you have dinner with someone, go back home and say, the conversations we had sitting at this table, did any of that conversation do anything for my life? Did any of that conversation put any thoughts in my head about being a better person? And if you reflect on those conversations and all you can think about that you talked about is bullshit and there was nothing good that came out of those conversations, don't hang out with people that aren't having conversations with you that make you a better person. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, I was just telling my son a little bit about that when he had his friend over. We were just talking before that, you know, about who you hang around with, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy because my father told it to me my whole life and I never listened, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's so important. And we preach it on this show over and over again. Because look at the changes it makes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One relationship. Look at the changes it makes.
Yeah.
Look at, and I'm not voicing on myself, but look at from the 10 other friends you had and having no friends and having this relationship with me, how it benefited your life. Of course, you've done the work and there's a bunch of other things involved, but that's what it creates, man. And I see it. So, and when I see somebody else and they're, you know, and I run into it at the gym and this is winning in their life and they're doing this and they're winning in their life. It's not like, oh man, why does it happen to him and not me? It's like, okay, I got to go out and get it. It like motivates you. It's attraction, dude.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, man, for sure. Fuck, I just lost train of thought. You just said something I was about to fucking say, and
bring up what you're talking about. Bring up.
Oh yeah, that we can talk about that. So we were talking about this earlier, and you know, anyone that watches us has seen that, like, I like wearing fucking band shirts. I like wearing movie shirts. I got a fucking Muhammad Ali shirt on right now. I'm into things like that. I'm into music. I'm into, you know, as much as, you know, music can be bad if you don't know how to control the way it affects you. You know, I love music. I love movies. I love things like that. And I'm sure that I think I've worn my Scarface shirt in a couple episodes, and I didn't know you had seen that comment that someone left on one of our videos already. But I think the video is actually it's more your commentary about meditation. But you know, there's a shot of me in the clip, and I'm wearing my Scarface shirt, and this person left a comment that says, talking about spirituality while wearing a Scarface shirt is some real work. Just saying, you know, or he said something to that effect. Like as if I can't be a spiritual person and understand myself internally and like movies at the same time. That's not okay for me to enjoy watching a movie with a cool plot and storyline that I think is, you know, really, really creative and artistic. And at the same time, you know, value doing inner work. You know, I can't understand myself internally and enjoy things of the world at the same time. I don't think that's right, bro. And I think that what that's doing right there, when you tell people things like that, is it's giving the impression that I should be living up to some image that, you know, you've talked about it before, how spirituality is an image now. It's a look. You know, if you're going to be spiritual, you got to look spiritual too, right? And I don't think that's right, bro. I think that, you know, I think that shows that I truly do understand myself, that I don't have to be at one extreme or the other, right? I can like this over here and I can like this over here, and I can understand myself also. I
mean, your journey is your journey, bro. So like, I know, and there's other, I seen a comment on something, there's other spiritual people about cussing if you're spiritual. So you're turning spirituality into religion because that's what religion does. And that's going to happen, bro, with any organized thing. When it becomes organized, this is why I'm so against organization, right? That's where the judgment starts coming in.
Yeah.
When there's order, if you have to be a certain way or you have to be this or that, it takes away from spirituality. It takes you away from source and it takes you away from God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love the movie Scarface, bro.
Me too.
I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time, but I love all gangster movies, man. It's something I'm trying to, but like me, I'm super big into yoga, bro. I'm super big into meditation, dude. I cuss a lot, bro. And you will never see me dress. Like when people look at me or talk, they would never know that I'm so deep into yoga and meditation, right? I don't fit in, bro, in the thing. You know what I mean? Because it's two separate things. I mean, it doesn't, it doesn't mean anything, bro. And so when we're being judgmental like that, and I'm guilty of it too, and that's kind of a conversation, I had with my son the other day. Just because I influence, I wanted to be clear with him that, I encourage his good way of being, not cussing and not vaping and not smoking and not drinking and not hanging out with people that do that. But I felt like I made it clear to him the other day. I said, even if you did those things, son, I wouldn't think any less of you.
Right.
So don't ever feel like you have to hide those things from me. Like just because, somebody vapes doesn't make them a bad person, or just because somebody cusses doesn't make them a bad person. I just wanted him to kind of have the understanding because it made me think of my father and how I wouldn't dare say a cuss word in front of him or smoke in front or this or that because I was afraid of him judging me. So I kind of like, acknowledge that. And I didn't want us to have that relationship where he felt like I would think anything less of him, because people that are doing drugs or they're living this, we talked about how I don't understand how they're living this way. Just because I'm saying I don't understand it doesn't mean I think that they are any less than or any bad. I understand it. I lived that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I am not saying that I'm better. I'm saying that I'm different.
Right.
And I'm not like that.
Yeah.
But not at all, bro, because I've done every wrong, bad thing you could think of, man. You know what I mean? I got a long list, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I am not saying that, bro. People are just people and their journey is just their journey, man. And, the ones that look the worst are usually the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Those ones that look the worst usually have the most integrity, dude, and the most trustworthy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I get what you're saying, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you bring that up about your dad because I still to this day with my dad, I won't cuss in front of him. And his wife cusses and everything, but he when I was growing up, my dad was real into going to church and he's changed a lot and he's loosened up a lot. But, I know that when I was younger, he was very judgmental of people who talk that way. And to this day, I won't say a cuss word to him. And so like, I feel like I can't really be my full self around him because of those things. And yeah, so I don't want to ever make anyone, whether it's my son or, someone in my family or a friend or even a stranger, I don't ever want to make anyone feel like they can't just be themselves. I don't want to ever, make anyone believe that because they're interested in a certain thing that they can't be themselves in the rest of the aspects of their life at the same time. And yeah, man, and I don't think anyone should have to live up to an image. I don't think anyone should ever have to. I think you should be able to be who you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And that kind of like worries me. I think that I have that kind of relationship with my son. You know what I mean? I've seen that, dude, and I don't want it to. So I get what you're saying, like allow them to be their true self, man. And I've really tried to and like I said, we have a close relationship, but that was just an acknowledgement I had because his friends were over and they said something that he had said, and like it surprised me, but I was kind of proud I was like, dude, finally you did something wrong. You know what I mean?
Right,
like, cause I was like, cause I'm always trying to tell them to break the rules and stuff. They never want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, so yeah.
Yeah, man. You were a little harsh on him today.
Yeah. I mean,
a little harsh, bro.
I mean, bro,
a little harsh.
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes,
I get it though.
Sometimes
I get it.
Sometimes, yeah. I got to, bro.
I know. But I'm just letting you know from an outside perspective.
Yeah. I don't feel one bit bad about it because I'm so easygoing all the time, dude.
Yeah, you are.
So I don't feel one bit about being harsh on him once in a while.
I know. You gotta have the dad side of you come out in some way.
Yeah, because I enable a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I enable and I'm Mr. Free Spirit and all that stuff. So it needs balance, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad. If I was harsh on him, I don't feel bad about it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I get that. I get
charge that one at the game.
Yeah.
Maybe in front of his friend, I shouldn't have been like that, but maybe motivates him a little bit, you know?
Yeah, no, I hear you. His friend seemed cool too. His friend didn't like jump on the bandwagon, like just the two of you just like going off on him.
Yeah. It wasn't nothing like that. It's just like, just do something, you know? Dude, I can't, I guess there is stuff, stuff from my father that I haven't worked on. Probably, there's probably still stuff that's not healed. You know what I mean? In certain ways.
I can relate.
But dude, it's a learning experience, man. Being a father, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, dude, he's gonna be okay, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know I feel this way about myself as a dad, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, based on what you've told me about your childhood and growing up, and based on what I know about mine. I mean, man, we've stepped it up, multiple levels as parents compared to how we lived as kids, man. And I think that for both of us, our kids got a lot more of a connection with us as dads than what we probably got as kids.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And like he's a good kid. I mean, dude, his friend we were just at church. He got baptized last Sunday, and they go to youth group, dude, and they work out in the gym and they watch what they eat, and
that's cool.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah, Yeah.
we're doing all right, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. You said something a minute ago, and I was like about to comment on it. And then I lost my train of thought, and then we started talking about the other thing I was talking about. What it was that you said is when we're leveling up and like we're achieving something, and people will be like, "Oh man, fuck this! Like, why does he get this and I don't?" And like almost like jealousy. I remember being that kind of a person, and lately I've been thinking a lot about. I've been thinking a lot about, because my kids growing up and stuff, I want to be one of those guys that's, encouraging as an, I don't want to say older, but I am an older man. I want to be more encouraging to our youth to be more masculine, and I think that mentality of like jealousy, like when someone gets it, having that mentality of like, oh, why can this person get this and I can't? Like, I think that's one of the most emasculating mentalities that's out there right now, right? Yeah, the victim mentality. Yeah. And I've been thinking about that a lot, man. And that's one of the biggest discussions I've been having with my kid lately is like, you are responsible for you. You are responsible for achieving the things that you want. And if you see someone achieve something that you want and you haven't achieved it yet, you cannot have the mentality of, oh, why does this person get this and I can't? Because that's out there a lot right now, right? So like, especially on the liberal side of politics, the whole idea that everything should be free and that rich people should get taxed more, because why should they have more money while this person over here is working a 9 to 5 and they don't have that much? Why should this person be able to go out and buy, plenty of groceries for themselves, and this person can't afford it? Oh, let's give them food stamps.
Yeah.
Why should, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or they also say like, what if Elon Musk gave some of that money to everybody? You know what happens when you get given shit?
Mm-hmm.
It destroys people, dude.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, this is the way the world works.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the way the world works. It's energy, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's energy. And if they didn't have all that and you didn't have nothing, the world wouldn't collide correctly,
right.
bro.
Right.
It wouldn't collide correctly. It would be chaos. Okay. Fucking perfect example. I would love for somebody to ask me that question, because what happened when everybody was given stimulus checks?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? You guys were all given your fucking money, and what fucking happened? Nobody wanted to work.
Yep.
Employers couldn't find employees.
Yep.
Though actually, because of those stimulus checks specifically, the whole workforce has been ruined in America because of those free checks.
Yep.
So there you go. Everybody was given the money, and it ruined America's jobs.
Yep.
It ruined it for businesses.
Yep.
It destroyed our country. It destroyed the integrity of people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that, yeah.
There's your fucking answer.
Good point. Good point. When you're handed things, you don't build integrity within yourself because it's just given to you. So how can you have integrity if you don't have to put in the work to get the things that you have, right? I feel that I have integrity. I feel that I have integrity when it comes to, ethical aspects of life, because I've had to do the work to get the things that I have, right? And so I'm not willing to cut corners in life to get things, right? Everything I do, everything that I work for, whatever steps I take to get there, I take those steps with integrity. And if I was just given all of the fucking money that I have, and if I was just handed all the things that I have in life, that integrity wouldn't exist, right? And I would be a lot worse of a person. I'd probably be a more judgmental person. I'd probably be a lot more hateful of a person. I'd probably be a lot more entitled of a person, right? People, when you get things for free, you become entitled. You think that you should always just get things for free. And that whole way of life is ruining America, bro. It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Elon Musk, man. So here in town, I don't know if you've seen it, but on the weekends, there's a whole shit ton of people out there fucking protesting.
Mm-hmm.
Protesting Trump, protesting Elon, get rid of Doge. All this protesting fucking going on. I don't know what happened. I think it was last weekend, but or maybe it was the weekend before, but they had this protest going on over by the government center. And, there's the government center and there's that busy intersection there. And I drove by it to go do some things that I was doing that day. And on my way back, I couldn't get back up the street to Victoria. And there was all kinds of cops out there and they had the streets blocked off. And I haven't heard what it is and I didn't look too deep into it. But I bet someone got hit by a car or violence broke out or some shit like that. And that's beside the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that all these people are out there fucking telling you to burn your Tesla. Don't sell your get rid of your Tesla. Don't support Tesla because Elon's gotten himself into politics by being an advisor to Trump. These same people that are telling you to sell your Tesla are the same fucking people telling you to buy electric to save the environment. Now get rid of your Tesla.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that, bro?
Because it's just a joke, bro. It's just a joke, dude. It's just a joke, bro. I don't even know how people have the time to do it. Like that they have the time or energy or, or what. I don't know about those people, man. I seen them too on the side of the road, but it's just like people are wasting their time and energy your whole life being angry about some shit that doesn't even make sense. You know, it's just unfortunate, bro. And those are those people. I'm not in that dimension. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I know.
I'm not in that dimension. I don't relate to that. I don't understand it. I don't care about it. I'm not saying your point is valid. I'm just saying that like that's, I don't know. That's strange to me. I just don't have anything to do with it. I seen them too. You know, of course my first reaction was want to throw something out. I'm not gonna lie, bro. But you know, the first time I was like, just stupid ass people, you know, but that's, I'm being wrong even being that way. You know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah.
Like, because it's just a joke, bro. It's just, they're a bunch of, everything's just a joke, dude.
Yeah, I know.
But even, I mean, I never seen anybody out there saying go Trump or anything like that. I don't know if there's people out there protesting about Trump, but I don't know. I've never been like a believer, and they say like, oh, it takes, you know, how does it, it's like, okay, let's say like trash, you know, like throwing trash out, like, well, what does my piece of trash throwing out matter, you know? But they say like, if everybody thinks that way, then there'd be trash everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm never able to like really look at it like that. Like, I never voted until this last election. The election. That's because my mother-in-law made me. She like literally like put me and like followed me to go to the post office, bro, to go and vote, man. Because I don't know, dude. I just don't care, bro. I just don't really care about much. You know what I mean? I just really don't care about much because like my caring about it does absolutely nothing but kind of affect me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying I don't have opinions about things.
Right. No, you know? I get what you're saying.
And like I said, my first reaction, I wanted to throw something out of the car at them.
Yeah.
You know, when I see, especially when I see liberals out there, well, I'm not saying I'm any, you know, completely better. I'm just saying like, I don't really care, bro.
Yeah. This one dude pulled up and you have all these people on the corner with their fucking, you know, anti-Trump signs and anti-Elon signs, and fucking this one dude pulls up in this big old white truck. And he fucking pulls up and he fucking revs his truck and all this fucking exhaust comes out. Huge fucking cloud of exhaust all over these people, dude. I thought that was funny as shit, funny. Dude.
I
thought that was funny.
No, that's funny.
That was great.
I mean, because you got, it's when I see him and I see their signs, I'm like, dude, it's insanity. Because it doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's wild. It's like everybody's lost their mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the funny thing about it is these are the only people you see out there doing this shit. We didn't have a bunch of fucking protests and blocking streets and fucking making it hard for people to get around when fucking Biden was in office. You didn't see that shit. But right now you're seeing protests all over the country because of Doge, because of Elon. Fucking the whole Tesla thing is what irritates me about it. And I agree. I agree with you. I shouldn't care, and I don't care that much. But at the same time, it does bug me to have this kind of insanity being projected all over the place. Yeah. And like I think that it's, we're making ourselves, number one, we're making ourselves look dumb as a country. How do you think other countries are looking at us? They're fucking looking at us and laughing at us.
But those people don't even matter anymore. It's all over. It's all over, dude.
I agree.
They can do their little protest or like whatever it is, but all that crap's over. They could talk all this shit about Doge. They could do whatever it's done. Yeah. It's a wrap. Change is here. You know what I mean? And so it's a wrap. That stuff's going to like fade away. You know, that's all they have left. It's like a little bitching, you know, like a fucking chihuahua, bro. Yeah. Like that's all it has left is just to keep doing its little barking, you know, and they know nobody's going to kick the chihuahua because it's a little weak type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like the last trickle down, you know, they're all going to shut up really quick, bro.
Right. I guess my thing is I wish we could see more unity, dude. Like I'm tired of all this like divisiveness. Like I don't agree with everyone on anything, but I guarantee you sit someone next to me, unless they're just like a very horrible person. You sit like, if you sit someone fucking next to me who's like a fucking, you know, who's like fucking a Nazi or something like that, you know, some white power skinhead or some like just really horrible person, I'm not going to find common ground. But you take someone that disagrees with me on politics or disagrees with me on religion, I guarantee you I can find common ground between us. And the difference is I don't care about them, dude. I don't care if you think differently than me. I still want to find common ground with you. I still want to unite with you. I still want there to be unity between us. And I don't fucking get all this like I'm going to hate you because we disagree on this one thing.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between conservatives and liberals.
For the most part, yeah.
So because you're not going to see conservatives out there acting, because it's the word conservative.
Yeah.
So that's all that it is, you know.
Yeah.
That's what liberals do, you know.
Yeah.
It's just all a hoax, man. I mean,
it wasn't always like that, though.
No, I mean, it wasn't, and it is just how it is. And, you know, the world has to evolve and it has to change. And it's all been crazy. It's still crazy, even with Trump. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff still going on, but it's all, you know, the clearing's on its way.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, even the tariffs and the this and the that and the da 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 da. Like, I don't even have like, and I don't have an opinion on any of it, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have an opinion on it. Like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, dude. Like, and I don't know, man. I'm just in a place in my life of like, you know, peace and belief that good change is coming.
Yeah. I'm with you on that 100%.
You know?
I'm with you 100% on that. I just want to see more unity, man. Not to be a fucking like hippie and have that fucking hippie mindset that I'm having, but you know, I just, shit's just irritating me that like we can't just get along as a people.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to see more of it. I used to be a really negative person and I used to have that mindset. And back in the day when I was a teenager, I would have been out there with those people thinking, yeah, I'm fucking making change. You're not fucking making change by going out there and holding your fucking signs and preaching your bullshit. Fuck your change, dude. Find the common ground that you can with people and put the differences aside. It's okay to be different. Yeah. If we weren't all different, the world would be a boring ass place to be. But like, you know, and I guess like, you know, with our kids getting the age that they are and they're going to be going out in the real world, I just want it to be a fucking good place for them to go out to, man, you know? And so that's my message, man. Stop fucking getting so tied up on your political beliefs and your religious beliefs and believing that, you know, that's what matters most in the world, and start finding some fucking common ground with the people that are around you, you know? Fucking just create a fucking peaceful world where we put our differences aside and focus on what we agree on, you know? And I see in my own son, you know, me and him don't agree on everything. And I see with him that he's starting to develop his own opinions and beliefs, and this, you know, way of thinking that's being projected within, especially, you know, liberal states like ours. And it's not just liberal, but, you know, this way of thinking of like, you know, being it's you against the world, and, you know, everything that doesn't agree 100% with you is the devil. You know, I don't want my son to be corrupted by that stuff. And you know, and he's I wouldn't say he's corrupted, but he's developed beliefs that differ from mine a bit. But I'm trying to teach him that's fine for you to believe what you want to believe. That's not the point. The point is, don't live on extremes. Mm-hmm. Don't go to one extreme or the other. You know, find the middle, you know, and you may lean a little from the middle to this way, or you may lean a little from the middle to this way, but try to stay in the middle. Don't let extremes fucking corrupt your mind.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an extremist myself, and I have to control that, because when I let my extremism get the best of me on any given fucking, you know, way of thinking, topic, fucking belief, whatever, when I let that extremism get the best of me, I start to become unhappy. You know? I start to become unhappy because I'm letting my mind be fucking entangled in this fucking thing that I'm just I'm so fucking focused on this one fucking thing because I'm going to the extreme, and I become unhappy. And I found that I'm the happiest when I can actually kind of be what you were just talking about and just not really care.
Yeah, not caring is a pretty good technique, bro.
Yeah.
Because it holds no value, bro.
Yeah.
It holds no value. Like, it holds no value. Caring, I mean, in this stuff, it just holds no value, man.
Yeah.
There's no putting energy into anything that is not positive, holds no value, and does no good for yourself. And if you're doing no good for yourself, you can do no good for the world.
Yeah.
And I when you're saying that, focusing on something that doesn't even matter, I do that in my own head. I'll go on tangents on things in my personal life, but I just don't relate to caring about anything that's going on in society or anything like that. Like, everything just is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and whatever, and it just doesn't have to be a part of my reality if I don't give any attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I don't give attention to these things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't give attention to bad things that causes a negative vibe, because I am guilty of that, but these worldly things or what it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know, it has nothing to do with me, but if I give attention to it, it's going to have something to do with me.
Yeah.
It's going to affect my life, and it's going to affect my children.
Right.
Right. If I'm not giving it any attention, it's not going to be brought into, you know, things with my children, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely not caring. But I think I've always been that way. I've never really cared about it. Like, I don't watch sports, bro, or I don't watch basketball. Yeah. I don't watch sports. I don't know who the famous singer is. Like, dude, I didn't even know who who's the chick that sung at Super Bowl? Beyonce or Rihanna or Beyonce or something, the last Super Bowl. But I was at my friend's house for a dinner with his mom, and she was on there and singing at Super Bowl. And I was like, oh, who's that? I'm like, bro, that's Beyonce. I'm like, I don't even know what she looks like, bro. Yeah. You know, I just don't know. I've just never cared. And I was also raised in a family that we didn't watch sports and we didn't care. We didn't we didn't put anybody famous on a pedestal except like James Dean,
right?
You know, or like old school, you know, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
You know, he was a cool cat, you know, so I just wasn't raised around that stuff. And so neither have my children been to where, that we give any attention. I just don't. Yeah. It's just not something
Yeah, we won't have the argument about Elvis Presley, but anyways.
What, bro? You're trying to start some shit on here, dude?
It's funny you bring sports up because I don't really watch sports either.
Don't change the fucking subject.
A little bit.
Don't change the fucking subject.
No, let's go to
sports
first. What are you going to
say about Elvis Presley, bro?
Let's go to sports first.
No. What are you going to say about Elvis Presley? You going to say he's gay or something?
No, I don't think that he's as great as everyone made him out to be. He was not a songwriter. He didn't write his own songs.
Oh, this is coming from the punk rock scene, not liking Elvis Presley.
Well, no, because I like music from that time, and I'm influenced by music from that time as a musician and as a fan of music. But Elvis Presley got put on this pedestal that he didn't belong on. He was not as good as everyone made him out to be. He just wasn't. He was not a songwriter. He was not a good songwriter. He was not a good musician. He didn't do anything good for the world. He just I just don't think he's as great as they made him out to be. Oh,
king, who did?
The king of rock and roll. I don't think he's the king
of
rock and roll. But
did they? I mean, I don't know specifically. I just like him because he's a straight player, bro. But and it was what I was introduced to when I was a kid. But what was I going to say? So if he didn't do anything great in the world, who did? Who are you comparing that saying that somebody that did?
I'm talking about from a musical standpoint. So I'm not talking about being
and
like
I don't have any. No, yeah, and I don't have any. Like I said, I don't take offense to it.
I'm not talking about being like an influence to the world from like a like an ethics standpoint or like a standpoint of like beliefs or anything like that. I'm speaking strictly about the music, because that's what he was known for, right? So specifically when it comes to music, I think that the people that did things great for music are people like Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry created, basically created rock and roll guitar soloing. I think he made a huge impact on music. Richie Valens, I think Richie Valens made a huge impact on rock and roll, being so young, 17 years old, signed to Delphi Records, Hispanic American. I think he did great things for music, the way that Richie Valens took the song La Bamba and turned it into a rock and roll song. Like that was real rock and roll.
So you're not saying Elvis Presley that turned stuff into rock at first? Like, I mean, the way he brought his dance moves and he brought like sex to music, and that's what I think they mean. I don't know a lot about music. Like, so you know about music. Yeah. I don't know a lot about music. I like Elvis's image, and a historian, because he's like this playboy, and that was like kind of my idol when I was a kid. Well, and that's the only thing I was raised with.
Making music sexual, I'm not sure that was a good thing for music.
I'm not saying it was a good thing, but it was a state of transition, like when a president freed the slaves. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm comparing it to, bro. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'll give you that. Like, he was kind of like, I don't know if he brought sex to rock and roll, but yeah, there was the whole thing about the way that like he would kind of move on stage and how like it was really looked down on. But music specifically, like, I don't think that he deserves to be called the king of rock and roll. I don't think that he had, I don't believe that he was that impactful from that standpoint. I don't think he was a good musician. I don't think he had an amazing voice. I don't think he was anything special.
All right, bro, get the fuck out. I've had enough. Get out. No,
but that's that's how I think. Yeah, I'm a big music junkie, man. I've always loved music. I love music from that time period. And so I'm very opinionated when it comes to stuff like that.
Okay, it seems to be you're opinionated about a lot. But it's cool,
Now going back
we're all on our own journey, bro.
Going back to sports, it's funny, and I do love I love the game of baseball. I like hockey a lot. Like I did used to watch a lot of hockey, and I'll still watch some hockey here and there. I'll still watch some baseball here and there. But I don't like idolize athletes, and I don't think that I don't think sports is this great thing, or watching sports anyways. Playing sports is another story, but watching sports, I don't think that sports are this thing that we should be so wrapped up in as a society. And it's funny because I remember people are all into football and stuff. And I remember this place that I used to work, everyone was always watching sports. Every day the discussion was sports, and did you watch the football game last night, and basketball and this and that, and everyone's just so wrapped up in it. It's like their life is watching sports. And I remember I would always make these comments about how, like, look at you, you're fucking here breaking your back, working a fucking 9-to-5 job, barely making enough to survive, and you're sitting here getting a hard on over these fucking guys in tight pants running around, tackling each other to the ground, making fucking millions, and you ain't making shit. And I would always make that comment, and people would fucking get pissed at me, bro. But don't you think it's kind of true when it comes to things like sports? Like, people are sitting here idolizing these people who are making millions to play a game on TV. And couldn't they be spending their time doing something better?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. But the thing is that it's just like anything. It makes them feel good, and there's something missing in their life.
Yeah,
there's something missing. It always comes back to something being missing in your life because you're looking outside for something. Now, there's other people that they watch sports. There's people that are really successful, and I trip out when I see these multimillionaires or whatever, and they're talking about sports or about some game or this or that. You know what I mean? I trip out like, oh wow, they watch sports, So I'm not saying it's also something that's enjoyable for people, but there's people that they spend their whole lives and they make Facebook posts and they spend all their money and they go to the game. But then again, they love it. So I don't know, but absolutely, like I just don't, I think it's just because I wasn't raised in it, and I just don't care about much. And what's funny is that makes me wonder, because my son doesn't care about much either. There's nothing that we're like into.
Yeah.
There's like no, so I think it's just like from generations of that's how I was raised. I was raised in an old school Italian family. Like I wasn't even allowed to watch regular TV. I wasn't allowed to play video games. Mm-hmm. I wasn't allowed the only channels I could watch was AMC and TMC, which were all old movies. That's why I know about all the only music I listened to was like Elvis Presley, if I was listening to Mariah Carey on the radio, my dad would tell me, stop listening to that N-word music.
Right.
He broke my radio once.
No way.
I go, Dad, he's not even black, bro, And so I was raised in like this strict family, and like, that's it. Very old school. Cause that's all my father knew. And he was raised in the old country, And so that was the kind and I wish that, and I didn't fit in for those reasons. I never knew about the new toy that came out, or any of that stuff. So I never fit in for those reasons. I never knew about sports, and I never knew about those things. And I never fit in for those reasons, not knowing about that stuff. But I think idolizing anything isn't, even idolizing God and making that your main focus. Let me word that correctly. I'm not saying, but even putting it kind of on a pedestal, making it your main focus, nothing should be your main focus. Yourself should be your main focus, definitely not idolizing. I don't care. I just don't fucking care, bro, about who. I just don't have no interest in meeting anybody or there's this one rapper that I listened to when I was younger, and I freaking he was in Vegas and he walked right by me in Vegas, and I didn't even have like the urge to go up and say what's up or like anything, I just don't, I don't know, dude.
I think that's good though. I think it's good to be like that and not like, I think it's cool. Like music, the reason I look at music differently than sports is because I don't know. To me, there's some like heartfelt connection you can have with music. I don't see how anyone can have that with sports. And maybe people can. Maybe people can. But music, I think, kind of touches the heart more. That's why in my religion of Islam, they actually like encourage you not to listen to music because it changes your heart and takes your heart away from God, right? And so that's a debate. But putting that aside, music, I feel like you can find a connection with it, right? Like, what do you do when you're having a bad day? A lot of people go and listen to music.
Dude, music's amazing, bro.
Right.
I fucking love music.
Yeah.
Music is God.
Yeah.
Through the words, through sounds and vibration,
Right.
Absolutely, you can relate. And that's why what kind of music you listen to is dangerous. And it does change your emotions. When people and these kids are listening to all this crap music, it's programming their mind. They don't even know it, music is the most beautiful thing. I love music too, but I don't know the names of the songs or any, I just don't.
But even with music, like I don't, I think it's good to be kind of like how you were, where it's like you're not idolizing these musicians, right? You're not putting them on a pedestal because they're making great music, and I admire what musicians do because I think that it is talent, and I think that talent is a great thing to have, and I think it's okay to admire people and say, wow, he's really good at that. Like I admire that person's talent. Like absolutely. I think that's good. But like the way that like people just like, fan out over musicians and singers and sports players and all of that. Like I don't think that's good for us as a society, right? Because these people are still just people. They're still just people. They're not, they're not God. They're not, they're not anyone to be idolized, admired. Yeah. Idolized. No.
It's crazy when there's like people at the concerts and they're like crying and freaking out. When they see them.
Whoa. Exactly.
But I don't know.
I like going to concerts too if it's not Afro Man. But I just think that I like the point you made. Like, even when I asked that question about who would you have dinner with, like, you mentioned, like, I don't really put anyone on a pedestal like that, and I don't think we should. I think that I don't think that's good for society. And I think that when we start putting our focus on idolizing someone else, it takes us away from really acknowledging ourselves.
Yeah, who we are and who we want to become.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, going back to Afro Man, do not go see Afro Man in concert. I don't recommend it.
Poor guy.
We went to see Afro Man, and like, guys, the dude just needs to stop. Like, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go.
By the way, it was Sunday night and I wanted to go out and there was nothing else to do. And just by chance, he was playing down the street. And that's the only reason why we went.
Yeah. And then this guy sucked me into going and spending my night over there.
Dude, it was
a good time though.
Dude, after his first song, he was like breathing. He was like bending over and breathing. He couldn't breathe, bro.
Yeah. It was a good time though. I had fun that night.
Good for you, Afro Man. I wish you the best, bro.
Yeah, it was cool. I went to this festival recently. So people wouldn't believe it, but I actually listen to this type of music. It's called corrido music. And corrido music is like the Spanish music. It's like the gangster Spanish music. So like corridos just has a little bit of history, and people can probably correct me on what I'm saying here. I'm not I didn't grow up in the culture, but like corrido music, basically, corridos sing about like the cartels and like gangster stuff. So there's a lot of like corridos that they can't go to certain places in Mexico because they've written songs, say, about a cartel, and the cartel's like, nope, you're not coming here.
Yeah, so I like stories like that.
Yeah. But I listened to some of that music, the newer corrido music. So there's some groups out there like Fuerza Regida is like the big one. Chino Pacas, Peso Pluma. There's a lot of them out there today, but I really like the style of music, even though I don't know what they're saying. I don't speak Spanish, but like the feeling I get from listening to the music, like it just gives me this feeling inside, and like I really feel the emotion in it, and like just it's really got a good feel to it. So I went to this festival. Fuerza Regida released an album called basically in Spanish, it's Don't Fall in Love is the name of the album. And then the singer put on a festival called the Don't Fall in Love Fest. And I went to that. And so he had a lot of corridos playing, but Spanish groups playing, but he also had a lot of rappers there. So he had Lil Baby was there, Kodak Black was there, and he had Bone Thugs.
I love Bone Thugs.
And he had Afro Man, and Afro Man walked right by me, and I just remember looking at him, and I'm like, damn, that motherfucker got old. And it was kind of the same thing. He didn't put on the best show, but the environment was a little different than the show we went to.
Yeah, that was
so it was a little
theater,
more enjoyable.
Yeah, just
because of the environment you were in, right? But I think it's time for Afro Man to stop. I think that, I don't know if he has a lot of money, but
obviously not, because he wouldn't be doing it, bro. Unless he enjoys the show. But he's probably broke from the way he looks like he lives his life.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know his whole story, but
right.
He's drinking that old English on stage and smoking blunts still. Can't breathe. He's a big boy.
Right.
But I think that he's lived probably a very happy life.
Yeah.
And did what he loved.
Right.
Like whenever I see musicians, and I met this singer at this wedding I was at last weekend, and he sings part times or whatnot, and I'm looking at him at the stage singing. I'm like, dude, what a beautiful life that you get to do what you love like that.
Yeah. So
even
if you're not balling rich, if you can make a living doing something you love like that, like you've won in my book.
Afro Man smoked weed, drank all his life, probably lived a pretty nice financial life or most of his stuff, and fucked a lot of chicks. And he seems still pretty happy. So
right. Yeah, and I shouldn't say it's time for him to stop. If it's something he still loves to do, I'm just being a hater on him.
Afro Man's gonna fuck you up, dude.
You know,
but what are the chances in hell he's gonna see this episode? We're a clip, bro. Afro Man's gonna fuck you up, bro.
Nah, and so I don't really mean it. It's not time to stop Afro Man, but he's not good anymore. I'm not gonna take that back. I remember liking him as a kid though, so it's cool that he's still going. Whatever. But yeah, man. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, we are just about out of here, and just want to say we appreciate you guys, man. You know, even when you're putting comments out there hating on me because I shouldn't be spiritual and like the movie Scarface at the same time, like, thanks for commenting on our shit, dude. You know, you guys, those of you watching, like, it means a lot, and we appreciate you. Keep supporting us, please. We're gonna try to get some guests on here, bring some other types of content to you. I know we've said it before, but we're working toward it. But we appreciate you guys. Hit us up on social media, Instagram, TikTok. Hit us up on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, you know, all that good shit. And we'll be back next week. Love y'all.
Later.
Peace.